Hello, all. I'm absolutely excited to have Srajal with me. My name is Gejo. I'm a mentor at Career Launcher, and I'm actually very happy, very thrilled to present you the 100 percentiler of CAT 2022, Srajal. And I'm extremely happy because he's picked one of my course, which is the VRC 1000. Yeah, obviously, he has done a lot of stuff on his own, but I'm extremely happy to have him with you. And I'm sure that this interaction will help you understand the mind of a 100 percentiler, and hopefully you can pick up some ideas from him. So, Srajal, first of all, congratulations. Did you expect
Thank
this
you, sir.
100% to happen?
This year I was expecting a good score, like more than my previous score, which was 99.7. But definitely 100 percentile was a surprise for me also.
This is your. Tell me. Let's start with about yourself. Tell me a bit about what you've done, what you're currently doing. Start from there.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I am Srajal Gupta and I've completed my BTech in Mechanical Engineering from NIT Surat. And for the past 1 year, I was working in a chemical manufacturing company, IT Industries. And recently, I shifted my job profile and like I pivoted into a new domain. And I'm currently working in Hyderabad in an analytics firm as a senior analyst.
Okay, so you got engineer in the span of 2 years. He's had two jobs, and hopefully he'll have a third journey, which is getting into a B school of his choice. And so this idea of MBA was, did it start during your college days or post started working? When was it? Why did you
Uh,
think of doing an MBA?
so sir, the idea was there from the start, from college only. So like I'm closely following one of my relatives who has done very well in his life after MBA. So it was always there, and like I've attended a lot of conferences and events in my college also, right? So I've interacted with those people who've done MBA. So like yeah, it was there. Always wanted to do MBA right after the college.
Yeah, so right then you want to do MBA. So a little bit about your 10th, 12. Some people, what's your score in 10th, 12th graduation from the CAT
Yeah.
perspective? What's your score?
So in my 10th, I scored a 10 CGPA. In my 12th, from my consideration, it's low. So I scored 79.8 percentages in 12th, and in college, I've scored 85.7%.
Actually, only the 12th you had, what is it,
Yeah,
JEE problem? What was it?
kind of JE problem, bad decisions at that time. So both of those things.
Okay, wonderful. I'm very happy. So let's start with, you said that this is your third attempt, right?
Yes, this is my
For,
third time.
so it's what happened the first two times when you wrote the CAT, 2020 and
Yeah.
2021?
So first attempt though was very pretty like kind of serious attempt. So I used to spend 4 or 5 hours every day for the preparation during the lockdown. And at that time I was able to score a 99.72 percentile. But maybe because of my low academics, I was not able to get a call from any of the top IMs. So my best call was FMS, and like after the last waitlist, I was at 32 waitlist number an FMS waitlist. And so my best convert was DMS IT Delhi at that time. So
Okay.
one of my mentor at that time suggested, so there's a mentor, Devin Sharma from Career Launcher Surat. So he suggested to take a drop and like give another shot at CAT.
Yeah, so you had,
So
at that point in time, you had, your mentor was the Korean launcher team at Surat, Devinder
yes,
Singh sir, no? Yeah, okay.
yes,
So that's
Devin
your,
Sharma.
Devan Sharma, yeah, so sorry. So that's your preparation during the product. That was your sort of first attempt. So second time, what happened?
So second time, so my thought process at that time was that even if I attempt CAT in 2021, so they were not going to count any work experience, right? Because I just started my job in August, and in CAT they only consider it in July. So I gave that attempt without any preparation and ended up like I didn't even give any mark at that time. So I ended up scoring 98.9 percentile at that time. So like from that I got to know my lowest point, which I can get in CAT.
So you had 99.7, then 98, then 100. So out of
100.
the three section, is there any sections that troubled you a bit in in the first 2 years? And was it?
QA, though I was always like consistently scoring about 99.8 percentile in even mocks, and like same is there in all the three attempts. I scored exactly 99.81 to 99.84 percentile in all three attempts, and but and VA is something, VRC was something like which was not consistent. So in the mocks I used to get, like in one mock I was scoring like 40 45 marks, and in just next mock it will be like 15 or 16 marks. So VRC was something which used to trouble me. That's why like I joined your course, because I needed a structured approach toward VRC. So for that, yeah, like
Uh,
you really helped me in that case.
so now we got 99.5% LFI in VRC,
Yeah,
right? Section
99.53. Yes.
100 percentile in DLR, I think.
DILI was also one pain point for me, because I used to score like 50, above 50% marks in all the mocks. So the percentile was in the range of 99 to 100 percentile, like every time in mocks. But in both of my attempts in 2020 and 2021, I was only able to score 90 to 92 percentile in those sections. Like it was around 18 to 20 marks. So I think I was severely lacking in set selection skills. So this time I worked on that. And yeah, and one more thing, like CL daily dose test helped me a lot in that regard, because we used to get like one set every day for 120 days. So they really helped me in the preparation.
Wonderful, wonderful. So for those of you who are listening and saying that 100% LS are born, I think there is a there is a testimony that they are actually made, and I'm guessing that Srajal would agree with me when I say that it's an
Definitely.
effort, and it's not like automatically you can wake up one fine day and take the test and score high in this test. So let's start with your sort of your preparation. You can reflect on what you did in the earlier years. Uh,
Sorry, sir. What
no
you were
problem.
saying, sir, about disconnect?
So let's reflect on your preparation journey for each of the three sections. So we'll discuss about what have been your preparation strategy for these things. How many are, what is the effort that you put in, and then we'll get into other aspects. So, but take us through each of these sections, and what would, for example, your advice would be to deal with each of these sections. We can start with maybe QA, move to DLR, then BRC.
Yeah. So for QA, as I just said, my mentor was Devin Sharma. So I had my notes already there from like 2020 preparation. So for the first 15 to 20 days, this time, like compared to the preparation I did in 2020, I would say this 2020 preparation was pretty chill compared to then. And like I used to devote so initially for first 14, 15 days, I used to devote 4 to 5 hours to just go over all the concept. So basically it was kind of a sprint for me, a 14, 15 day sprint to go over all the theoretical concept. And then I totally shifted my focus toward mocks. So initially I used to take like one mock every 2 weeks, and then like as time goes on and the D day was near, so I shifted to like one or two mocks every week. And also I used to take 5 to 6 hours on Sunday to analyze those mocks. For each
Just
mocks
one,
I used to get 5 to 6 hours
just one second. You said you studied 4 hours every day.
just for first 14, 15 days, like a theoretical concept sprint, right?
And
After that it was like 1 hour max, 1 to 2 hours every day.
you're working now. So this how many
Yes.
months was your preparation like? So how many
So
months? Yeah.
so I started in May, I guess May 2022. Initially, yeah. So I started giving mocks in May 2022.
Okay. So you had taken the prepared the year before that and the year before that. I think what was needed at this point in time is to have a conceptual clarity. Now, how much
Yes.
is, for example, for those students you're looking at, let's say QA as an area, is it according to you? Would you say that they should strengthen the concept really well, or can they skip some topics here and there? What would be your take when it comes to
Yeah.
QA?
So definitely one can skip some topics. Like if you are only targeting three things, na, arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. If you are good at these three things, I would say like 99 plus percentile is covered. So definitely you can skip some modern math topic. But like if you are starting early, I would not say that you should skip any topic. Like you should target to attempt all the question, all 22 question in the paper. Definitely.
Right. So you said that you strengthen the concept initially, then stick to your mock test. What about your DLR? You said that you have always been sort of, at least in the mock test, you are good in DLR.
Yeah.
In the CAT story was very different until this year. So what is your what is that you used to do with the DLR preparation for the CAT?
So for preparation, so I just used to solve past papers and like wherever I can get some set, I will solve that from online sources, online free sources. But this time we had like for 4 months we had those daily doses. So as I said, like I used to like study for 1 or 2 hours every day. But one thing I was diligently doing that first thing in the morning, I used to solve those all three test doses for VARC, DILR, and QA. So yeah, like those are like 120 odd DILR sets extra, which I've prepared over the mocks. Apart from that, so I was only giving mocks and the section tests which are there in the CL portal, aspiration portal.
So the daily doses for those of you who are listening is essentially, so for the last 120 days there is just the one test of VA, one set of one short set test of DLR, one short set of QA was given to the student, and they can only take on that particular day. We used to remove the test, and here Srajal has taken all the tests. So just tell me. So in the initial, at least this year when you prepared for DLR, you had the you knew a lot many things. Let's go
Mhm.
back and look at the first time you started your preparation for DLR. So let's say in 2020 back then. What was your sort of how did you go about preparing that particular section?
So, like I believe, like if you give ample amount of time to any cat aspirant, I think they will be able to solve the DILR set, like any set. But the main like key strategy is here to like is set selection. If you are able to select those 2 or 3 sets which you are pretty comfortable with and you are pretty sure that you can solve in 40 minutes, then I think that part is done. Like the ILR part is done. So what I did is I just used to solve all the previous year questions to get familiar with all the types of sets which can come in this year. Right. So I solved like past 10 years of papers. So I did all the DILR set from past 10 years. After that, I only focused on mocks and I also used to give prime, like I attempted all the prime cats and CDCs. So I think those are sufficient number of DILR set which one needs to practice for cat.
Yeah, so one of the things that I always believe is that it is absolutely important that you go back and look at the mother source, which is your actual CAT papers in the past. So solve every single DLR set. How many times would you have solved the past DLR sets? Let's say if you look at one set, how many times? Once in your
Once,
preparation?
once for 2 years, 2020 and 2022. So two
So
times.
twice.
Yes.
So for those of you preparing this year, solve it twice. And I'm also guessing that in the mock test there are certain sets you might have missed in the whole thing. Do you actually go back and redo them again once the
Yes,
test is
yes.
done? Yeah.
So as I said, now I used to spend 5, 6 hours analyzing the mocks. So first I attempt all the questions which were left. I was not able to attempt. Right. Then those questions which I did wrong in the paper. Right. And then after that I used to watch video solution for all the correct attempts also, like if there any alternate strategy for that particular question or not. So for that I used to watch video solutions for that questions.
It's wonderful. So what I'm hearing, and for those of you listening, I hope that you heard what I heard. For QA, get your concepts in place, and start talking, solving the mock test, and learn a lot from there, and keep strengthening. And three areas: arithmetic, algebra, for sure, geometry. These are the sort of the three areas that you must be good at. When it comes to DLR, ensure that you solve all the previous questions, solve the daily dose, look at the mock test, redo the questions that you missed, or do the question that you missed, watch all the solutions. I think so far I've heard that Srajal's preparation has been very simple, straightforward, nothing complicated. So
Yes.
let's get to your VRC. How bad was it? How good was it when you started your preparation for the VR section, and how did you manage
So,
this question?
so in both the attempts, for some reason, like for the first mock which I attempted, now when I started my preparation, every time I used to get like in my 2020 attempt also, in 2022 attempt also. In first mock, somehow I got 99.7 or 99.8 percentile in the mock. So I was like on the clouds, like okay, I can like definitely score 100 in CAT. But then after those, like I saw a declined graph, right? And my VRC scores used to vary from 15 to 45. Like in each test, like it will be around 15 or it will be around 40, 45 for some reason. So,
Okay.
so yeah, so I was not pretty consistent in terms of score, I would say. But for like, fortunately in CAT 2020, I was able to score 40 plus marks in VRC, but it was not similar to what I was scoring in mocks, definitely. This year also, like I was scoring, initially I was scoring around 25, 26 marks only in all my VRC mocks. So after that, I joined like VRC 1000 course, and like I watched all the videos, solved all the strategy lessons. And one thing which I like about this course was, before watching each videos, we have to attend those tests, right? First we have to attempt those tests, then only we can watch that video. So like those tests force like that thing forced me to solve around 100 more sets, RC sets and VRC questions. So yeah, so VRC 1000 definitely helped in that regard. And also for like I saw consistent score of around 30 35 from that point onward in my mocks. But again, like at the end, around October, November, maybe CL started increasing the difficulty of VRC or something. I don't know. But my scores were like again around 28, 30. Like they declined to that range. So then you started blast from past series, right? So then I started attempting those questions, and I was consistently scoring 100 percentile in those tests. So after that point of time, I was pretty confident about my VRC attempt in CAT.
So I think what I hear is that at one point in time you're like either very low or very high. Then
Yeah.
at least you had a moderate to high. So
Yes.
let's get to. I think there are many people who kind of be in your board. They can manage the maths well. And according to you,
Hmm.
what would be what would be important when they look at the preparation for the VRC section of the CAT? What are the few things that you think that they must do to do well in the section of PR section?
So one thing I would say is like RC is a major chunk of the paper, right? It constitutes more than 60% of the paper. And what I used to do is I used to do speed reading. Like I will read whole passage in 3 or 4 minutes, and go to the question, then read what part I need. I will come back to the passage, try to find that part in the passage. So I used to take 13, 14 minutes for each passage. And I was able to attempt only two RCs and the whole VS section in each mock, right? After that, like you emphasized on this point in VRC 1000 that we should like read it at our own pace. Comprehension should be the key, right? That should be the main goal. So after that, I focused on comprehension. And after a certain point of time, I was taking like 9 minutes per RC. So and we used to solve those strategy lessons, right? So I changed my strategy to like complete three RCs in 27 minutes and take 13 minutes for VA. So yeah, like you said, one should attempt all the four RCs in 28 minutes, but it was
Which is
not humanly possible for me at least.
yeah, it's not needed. So I think it is. It sometimes sounds counterintuitive. Actually, if you read things fast, you'll end up spending more time in sort of the solving
Yes.
the whole thing because people forget that you also have the total time that is required to do reading combination is time to read the passage plus time to solve all these five questions. That's where the real waste of time happens in the options. Did you
Yes.
did you study anything? So is that, did you improve sort of your reading habits, or what? Did anything change in terms of what you read, or did you? But reading comedy at the end of the day is multiple sources, multiple genre.
Mhm.
So did you do any bit of reading and other things
So,
apart from?
so to be honest, sir, I didn't read any books or anything apart from the mock RCs. And you used to share those CAD articles, right? So I used to read those and mock RCs. That's it. Like I didn't started reading anything from other sources.
So in one sense, the VRC 1000 course forced you to read lot many things.
Yes,
Uh, okay, wonderful. So what I hear, Srajal, is that your preparation is nothing extraordinary, but I think that the extraordinary things came from your effort that you put in. That's what I consistent effort. Is there any?
consistent.
So let's look at in your case. It's like, do you think that it is it to what extent is possible to do people to do well in this particular test? If so, what do you think are the is intelligence is so important, or it's like somebody is decent enough, or has whatever issue they have, if they put in sort of the effort, be consistent, can they crack this test? What is your sort of your idea and take, given that you've gone through this process and you've got 100 percentile score?
And definitely, sir, it's not like one should be very brilliant to get the score of 99 plus percentile. But I believe that one should focus on accuracy rather than number of attempts to get a better score. Because like if one can spend 10, 15 more seconds to check, like go back and check their calculation if they have not done any silly mistake or something. So they can save 3 or 4 marks there itself, and those 3, 4 marks can make a huge difference. So in my case only, so in 2020 and in 2022 as well, I did some calculation mistakes and ended up losing like 6, 7 marks. In this attempt also, like in one question, I did a very simple, very silly multiplication mistake, and that costed me like 4 marks in quant section. So yeah, I believe that like one can score a very good marks if they whatever they do now, they do it with 100% accuracy, and they
Yeah.
can definitely crack the CAT examination.
And also in terms here, your so you was your score in the mock test always high, or my gut feeling is that you had all sort of fluctuation. Did you have?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah,
What
so
sort of
it
please?
was consistent for QA. It was always 99.5 plus for QA. So I was pretty confident for that particular section. But in DILR, it used to fluctuate, but not by very much. Like it was always around 50% marks. So, but VARC though was used to fluctuate a lot. And in some mocks, the overall score was also very low. Like in some mocks, I have scored like a percentile of 96, 95. So my mock percentile range is from 95 to 99.9 in CL mocks.
And your actual cat is much higher than all this, and that is what I hear is, right, is at the end of the day is keeping that, which comes back, how important to you was your mock test? How important was it in your preparation, the mocks?
So as I said, Sana, from June onwards, I was only focused on mocks. What extra I did is just I increased the frequency of number of mocks which I take. Right, and also this is something which I've already mentioned that like I used to spend 6 hours in like mock analysis. So yeah, like my whole preparation was around mock, taking mocks and mock analysis only.
So let's get to understand what is analysis to you. What do you do? Let's do step one. What do you do? You take the mock test. Then
Yes.
what is the second thing
So
that happens?
So first step is to I take the mock. Then the whole day, like I will be very sad that I got a low score. The next day, I will move to mock analysis, and I will reattempt. Like first, I will attempt all the question which I missed in the mock, right? And then from that, I got like I try to find out those questions which I could have been like I could have attended in the mock, and it would like take like less than 2 minutes. Some QA question would have only taken less than 2 minutes to solve. So first I used to find the thing that you used to say that this is your OCAD score. So I used to find my OCAD score first step. Then I try to solve those questions. And then for my wrong
Sorry,
attempts,
sorry. Let's just to tell what he's talking about outcome score. Basically, so what I've understood so far is in the test, he got certain question correct, certain question wrong, certain question did not attempt. So Sajal used to go back and look at the question that he got wrong and he got correct. He did not look at the explanatory answers. That is what I'm guessing. And he
yes,
solved the question completely and now realizes he can get more number of questions correct. So that is the outcome score. What is his potential score? So there you are now.
yes,
So you
potential
understood
score.
this. Okay, now
Yes.
let's see. What is next? What happens next?
Next, though, as I said, I used to solve all the wrong attempts which I've done in the test. And so I used to go over all, and if I'm lacking any concept, I used to wrote down those concepts. Like there are Vine formulas, and there are some particular formulas which are there in quant section. So this year, like to revise those concepts, I usually used like those mocks only help me with those concepts. Right, there are some extra concepts which are not there in the booklets, right? So those concepts I revised from the mocks only. So and after attempting all those wrong attempt questions and like going over the video solution, written solution, I used to go through all those, and then I used to attempt those correct question and get like if there's any different strategy which I can use to solve those questions. And one more thing, like in all the mocks, we used to have that one particular video of GP ka funda. So I tried to go over that video and if try to find if we can use any jugaad for a particular question. So I try to find these.
So what I'm actually GP ka funda G is about GP who solves question using jugaad solution, options, elimination, this that. So what I actually hear is in your preparation, what I can hear is uh, you've got your mock test series and you've been very diligent and very consistent and systematic in taking the test. And whatever areas that you got issues and problems in, you address it separately. So building whatever needed for whatever the area, and then the past year's paper was sort of in another sort of resource that you had to do. Well, you talked about the blast from the past of VRC. That was the past year paper, DLR's
Past
past year
year
paper.
papers.
So past year papers, mock tests, critical, crucial, and of course, if you got issues in each of the area, then you can work on those. Okay, that's wonderful, wonderful to hear. So is there any sort of, let's say if I were to give you if were to give about top three sort of advice that you have for others you are taking the test next year and year after that whenever they're taking the test. So what would kind of your advice to them be? Whatever it is.
So first thing though, I would say sir, that one should give ample amount of time. Like when they start their preparation, they should give enough time to all three sections. So generally, what we do if we are good at QA, we start like giving more time to QA. We are solving more QA question, right? And so one should give time to all three sections because all three carries equal weightage, right? Then second, I would say that same thing that one should focus more on accuracy than number of attempts because at the end, accuracy will matter more than like number of attempts in your overall percentile. And third, if I have to say, I would say that like one should have a strategy in place before exam, right? So if you are giving mocks, so you should start preparing your own strategy for D-Day, and mock should be the place to test those strategies, right? So I used to in my case, I used to follow a ABC strategy for maths. So in cons, so I used to assign like for a question, I will assign them as A, B, or C. Basically, easy, moderate, and hard. And I used to attempt all the easy question in a first pass. Then I will start my second pass. In that, I will attempt all the moderate question. And if in case I have some time left, then I will attempt one or two questions from the those hard questions. So one should have a strategy in place, and mock should be the place to like test those strategies.
Wonderful. During the actual cat, did you very always feeling very confident that this is my cat? Was like, did you have issues in those 2 hours that during the actual exam?
So, so VIC though, after VIC, I was never sure na, that if my accuracy was good or not. So
Correct.
that, yeah, so that though is not a problem. But in case of 2022 attempt, like for the first 15 or 20 minutes, I was at 1 6 question set and I was not able to solve it and ended up with like attempting only 6 or 7 question
This
in
this
that
is
particular
DILR.
attempt. in DILR, yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
at that time, like yeah, I pull up my socks in QA and ended up scoring like 60 marks in QA in that attempt. So that particular QA score like elevated my whole percentile that year. But this year, though, I was able to attempt 16 odd questions in DILR. So I was pretty confident in my attempt. Like if my initial like if I correctly jotted down all the points from that particular DILR set, then though the answer will definitely be correct, right? If I have not missed any point. So the number of attempts was pretty good this time. So this time after DILR, I was pretty confident, and the QA though was always my strong suit, so it was not a problem.
Wonderful. Very happy to hear your this journey of yours. I think everybody listening to Srajal would have realized that if you put in the right kind of effort, if you're consistent, if you don't give up, and if, let's say, what happened, if you've taken the CAT last, it didn't work out, you can still come back and do well in the examination. Thank you so much. We still have work to do. You have to still convert the calls, and
Yes.
I hope that you'll do everything possible to get the call, and then probably after a month's time, maybe three months time, we can get back once again and see your experience of
Definitely. Definitely.
personal. And thank you so much, Rajal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.